In this video I will be explaining a little more about the Zoom facility within the program. By default, the program has been set to load 240 days. However, you can change that by going to Preferences, click on Settings, click on General and change the number of bars in this window here. In other words, if you wanted to see less information on your screen, you will reduce the bars to, let's say, 200 or maybe even 180. Or if you want to see more information when you load a share, you would increase this 240 to, let's say, 300 or 360. Please bear in mind that we're talking here about working days and not calendar days. Once you have changed this, you click on OK, but again you got to bear in mind that it's now set as a default for all your shares. So in other words, this is the setting that will be applied to all shares. However, once you're in the screen, and especially in shares that are highly liquid, you will see a lot of information. Like for instance this particular share, which one is it? EPSA. It is highly liquid. You've got a lot of activity going on here. You may want to see this in more detail. In order to do so, you click on Zoom. Now you can either use a zoom box, or you can zoom left or right, but let's take a zoom box to start off with. Click on zoom box, and let's say we want to see the area, this area here, and all you do is you put your little hourglass, or what's actually enlargement glass, put it on the right of the graph, and then click once, then hold your mouse key down and pull it for as far as you want to see. Let's say you want to include this top here, and then you let go, and immediately the whole section that you wanted to look at has now been reduced, but it actually gives you more detail on your screen. Similarly, you can do other features as well from zooming. Click again on zoom. I'm now putting the chart back to, let's say, 1 year detail, and you can now also select zoom in. Now when you select zoom in, watch what happens on the bottom of your date grid. In other words, the grid that is showing at the bottom here. Zooming in will reduce the amount of data on the left, but it keeps the end data here static. In other words, by using zoom in regularly or more frequently, it puts less information on your screen, because it takes off months at 1 month at a time. There we go. Let's try this again. At the moment you can see we got August here and we got May there. We now do zoom in again. Now you have August standing much further to the left, but May is still in the same position. And we do this again, zoom in, and now August is finished and we're now looking at September, but May stays there all the time. Again, let me bring the graph back to normal. You can also do this by your right mouse click, by selecting zoom from this menu here, your quick access menu. I'm trying to find it here. There we go. It's the last feature, and exactly the same as the top, and now putting it back to 1 year, back to normal again. Similarly, zoom out would actually add more data to your screen. Again, look, zoomed out, we've got May on the left and we got May on the right, and now we've got almost on the left hand side We are almost here in April. There you go, but May will stay there. Now let's bring the graph back again to normal, 1 year. And again using, now you can also scroll left and scroll right. Now scrolling left actually moves the whole graph to the left. In other words, it takes off data on the right hand side. Let me show you this in again. I'll scroll right now and it puts May back. Now by scrolling left, there you go. It takes off May and April and leaves you with March, and the whole graph moves back in time. Again, let's go back to 1 year. And now you can also say, well, 1 year data is too much for me. I'd really like to prefer looking at data over a 6 months period. Then you can just select 6 months, and there you are. As you can see, you got now data from November to March in this particular case. But all your, especially your candles in candlestick format, is far more clear to identify. Now you can also say zoom. No, we want to zoom in. You can go further, or you can zoom out again and you go backwards. Similarly, you can select 1 year like we did just now. You can select 2 years, 5 years, or 10 years, or display all. Now if you take 5 years, obviously, to use candlesticks on a 5-year graph becomes quite useless in a way, because the candles are now so much squeezed together that you can't really see the candles any longer. However, what you could of course do is take a zoom box. If you wanted to see what this area looks like in more detail, again, place your enlargement glass to the right of it, click once, hold your mouse key down, pull it across, and there you go. There is the whole area now enlarged. Let me now put this back to normal again, like 1 year. And again, if you want to zoom in, you want to see the entire history of a share. Now this happens to be EBSTA, so that has a long history. We can click view all, and there you go back right to 1987, which is now well over 20 years ago, to right now. You can see how the share has performed over this whole period. And as we explained in one of the very first videos, you can see in the top here what the percentage increase has been from this point to that point. You can see that it is a total increase of 1,685%. That is that EBSTA has grown over the period from 87 right into 2009, where we currently are. To bring the graph back quickly to normality or to a normal 1 year, you can either take zoom again and you select 1 year, but you can also do it by selecting the reset button, by setting reset chart, and the chart immediately is reset back to where you started when you load the program. Zooming therefore is very useful, especially when using candlesticks. If you want to study the candlesticks in more detail, you should zoom in, and the best way or the easiest way is to use your zoom box. Let me show this again. Click once, hold your mouse key down, and there you go. There you got your candles totally enlarged over a shorter period, because now we're looking from February to May, so we're looking about 3-4 months back. So it's a very short period, and you got a much better picture of what actually took place with the EBSTA share during that period.